universe, media, network, 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 network.
Welcome, Successors. Today we're talking to Jason Palliser, the creator of the 2-Day Investment Blueprint, real estate investors' plan or blueprint, as you could say, to grow to 6 and 7 figures. Jason, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
All right. So are you ready to talk some real estate investing with me today?
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me with anything you want. I'm ready to roll.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So before we get into the business part of things, how about you tell us a little bit about your personal life?
Okay, so born and raised in St. Louis, kind of like you. 3-4 years ago, said with my wife, hey, I've been here 40-something years. I've seen the arch. I know what it looks like. Let's move to someplace warm, kind of like we talked about before we started today, right? And
Right.
so we've been down in St. Pete / Tampa in Florida for the last 3.5 years, and it's wonderful. And there's no state income tax, so that's what we love to do. We love travel, and we love being active, tennis, racquetball, all the fun stuff. So on the personal side, that's kind of what we do. My wife does national pet rescue and stuff like that for ASPCA, vet tech stuff. And so that's really rewarding. I did my first foster because she said, hey, you can do it. I was nervous about fostering our first puppy, and we did. And then I grew attached to her. So when it came time to somebody else to adopt her, I had some real feelings about that. So that's what, on the personal level, that's kind of what we do. Love travel, and love supporting her, taking care of any animal that needs help.
Awesome. Awesome. That's good. That's good. How many animals you got in the house so far?
We have 2 that are, we have a 14-year-old, which is her pride and joy, named Monty, a little puggle. And then we have a Chihuahua who feels like he's a 150-pound dog, even though he's 6 pounds. So that's what we got going on in our household right now. Right.
Yeah. My daughter, she loves pets. She's crazy about them. So, Jason, you are the creator of the 2-Day Investment Blueprint. It is a blueprint that's designed to take investors to grow into a 6 to 7 figure real estate investing business. Tell us a little bit about that and why you created it.
So I've been in this space for 23 years. I've been investment banking for 26, specialize in private money, hard money lending, and also getting bank financing for investors, strictly work with investors on that. So about 3 years into that, I realized I would leave a closing as a banker and helping out an investor get funding, right? They would walk out and say, high five me, and they make 50 grand. And I'm leaving the closing as a banker making 2 grand. I'm like, wait a second. I got a degree in finance. This math doesn't work for me. So I transitioned to what I call the dark side, which was investing myself for the last 23 years. And so what happened is bigger companies like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Flipping Boston TV show, stuff like that, they started hiring me for my funding expertise because I was top 100 in the nation for funding. And I knew every investment program there was. I could get funding on almost anything. But what quickly transitioned was they're like, wow, you're doing lots of deals. They're like, man, what are you doing to get to those deals? And I saw the value in just diving really deep into the marketing side of things. Like, how do I get to all the off-market properties first? So they started asking me to create these programs centered around the front end of the business, which is getting to everything first. And from there, I created a software called REI Black Book. Some of your listeners may know what that is. It's a real estate automation tool. It's used by Kiyosaki and some other people that private label it, and gurus that private label it around the nation that listeners would know. And so what happened where the blueprint came was that I got tired of speaking for all these places and, hey, go to Seattle and teach owner financing for the weekend or lead generation. And so I canceled about 20 speaking contracts and sold the software company. So I didn't get 300 support emails a day anymore, which is a dream come true between me, you, and the listeners.
Yeah.
And so people for years said, hey, that map that you're showing us, that organized map where you attack a city 34 ways. So most investors know 5 or 6 ways to get an off-market property, and we have 34. And the reason for that is that in the course of doing all the speaking and stuff, some larger companies like what we call institutional money or hedge fund players said, hey, look, we need 40 homes a month. We need 50 homes a month. We need 4,000 homes in Dallas in 60 months. We heard you're the guy that can put together an engine that'll do that, which I just simply called a blueprint. It turned into the 2-day blueprint because these companies are like, man, in 2 days, you literally lay out the blueprint. So that's where the 2-day blueprint came from.
Nice.
And about 5-6 years ago, I started doing it for individual investors. So if you could imagine, for years at the TV show stuff, people raising their hand, or when we go on a break, they're like, hey, come here. Hey, do you think you could build me that same map and that off-market attack? And I said, look, I'm too busy speaking, doing 10 to 15 deals a month, doing private money, blah, blah, blah. And so once I sold all that stuff and canceled those speaking contracts, I'm like, hey, I will do an official off-market blueprint build-out for you and literally attack the city 34 ways, all the way down to doing direct mail for free if they do it exactly how we want them to do, and be in 30,000 mailboxes, which took me 11 years to figure that out. So that's where the 2-day blueprint came from, is that people are like, man, over 2 days, you can literally take over a city and not do the same 5 things like a vacant list, a high equity list, and let's do some text messaging. So there's a better way to attack a marketplace. And so that's where the 2-day blueprint came from. And we do about 9 or 10 of those build outs a year.
Man, that's incredible. That's awesome. There's no better word to use than awesome. That's pretty cool, man. I love hearing that. And especially kind of bring it into the tech space, which a lot of investors don't really thoroughly think that that's even an option, you know, but you did it. That's incredible. I love it.
Well, here, and the people that are listening, I'll say this, Antonio, I've never wrote a line of code in my life. I'm not some technical wizard. I just hired the people and said, hey, can you make it do this, which would save me a lot of time and energy? Hey, could you make this part of the investment machine? Can you create a widget that does this? And paid them to do it, and then put it all together. So anybody can do it. So yeah.
So you may actually have answered this next question. I'm going to ask it anyway. Okay. What's the one word or phrase that comes to mind for the reason you got into real estate investing?
That's a good question. You asked me a really good question. So the reason I did is freedom. I saw the freedom that, I was on the funding side creating freedom for all these investors, and they're like, oh, I'm going golfing and this and that. I'm like, gosh, I got 8 more mortgage appointments today. And again, I was doing that at a high level and making a pretty good living, but their lifestyle just seemed so much more relaxed and laid back, and they had freedom. So that's when I said, you know what, I need to dive into this real estate investment sandbox. And once I did, I never looked back. It's the best business decision I've ever made.
What's your favorite part about being a real estate investor?
Helping homeowners while also creating a win for the investment side of the business. So it's finding a way to be a solution for a homeowner that needs some help, an off-market homeowner that has some level of motivation, and then getting the back end win-win, which is depositing a large sum of money or getting a good short-term rental and having very good cash flow. So that's what I love about it.
Now, there's no way that all this time you've been doing real estate investing that everything's been so perfect and beautiful. There's no way. Okay. Yeah, so what was the time throughout the journey that you've had so far when you felt most unsuccessful?
Oh, that's easy. The problems arose because of me as a byproduct. So I walked around, and I would say probably 2 years into me doing some real estate investing, I was just getting some properties and fixing and flipping them. I started doing a couple rentals, and where the most difficult time for me is that I walked around going, wow, I have all the knowledge and all the funding, which everybody comes to me for that, and everybody wants it. So I've got all the money. So I was like, man, this is great. I'm going to invest and I can do anything because I got the money. I got access to the money. And so I figured I could do any deal and work my way out of it just because I could get funding where most people may struggle with that. Right. But what happened was my attitude was a little cavalier about it. And so I was like, oh, I can get this and do that and move this around. And so what happened was the market started to turn just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. And I had a flip. And that flip took extra time. And this, I'm sure, will resonate with most people. And if you've been doing it a while, you've run into some variation of this. It costs a little bit more than I thought, and it took a little bit more time. When we put it on the market, I was all in at 225 and was trying to get 265 out of it. The market started getting a little tighter. People are making a little bit lower offers. I had an offer at like 232. I'm like, man, I'm not going to make $7,000 on this. I'm going to reject that offer and just wait. Market turned a little bit more. Then I dropped the sales price $10,000. Then people are making lower offers than what I had into it. So I was just like, oh gosh, I'm gonna take my first real estate investment black eye here. I could feel it coming, right? And so what happened was the people that I had helped throughout the years get funding where they had perceived that they were stuck, and I helped them out on that side with the funding side. I went to a few of them that do lease options, and I'm like, what do I do here? I'm like, I had an offer on the table that's gone where I could make a little bit of money, and I just didn't want to do it. But now I'm in a pickle. And so what they did was they showed me how to lease option the property. So I had real heartburn. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna probably end up, and I was making payments over time. So now I'm in a position where even if I sold it at 230, or a little bit above what I originally had into it, I've already made payments to where I'm going to lose 5, 10, 15 grand, maybe even 20 grand. So they said, hey, let's advertise this out there as a lease with an option to buy. So I found a couple ladies who wanted to do a lease with an option to buy and got some money down. Fast forward, I re-lease optioned that property over a 7-year period because I renewed with the ladies and took some more non-refundable money down. They were about 15 grand into it. Yeah. And but ultimately they couldn't get financing. I got one other person in there that was renting it, did the same thing, lease with an option. And fast forward like 7 years, I ended up selling it, I want to say for 265, 270, but they paid down my note over time. So what looked like a world-class punch in the face ended up, because I relied on other people's expertise that I had helped through the years, ended up coming out a little bit ahead at the end. But that was stressful. That was a stressful. I'd be lying if I didn't say I'd walk around and it consumed me during the day. I got all these other things going on, but that was consuming me because I was like, what am I going to do with it, right?
Yeah.
That was my worst spot.
Yeah, that's what I always say, man. Relationships are almost everything, if not everything, because if you don't have them, you don't know where to go or don't know where to turn, just like you did when something starts going wrong. And the lease options, that's always one of the better options that real estate investing provides. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
no, it was. I'm glad they showed it to me. And quite frankly, since I know the funding side of things, like I knew what that person needed to do or clear up to qualify. With my banker hat on. Yeah. So that technique had real sex appeal to me when the investor's like, let's approach it this way. Because I knew why that person couldn't buy today. So I put in place, hey, you need to do these things. Ultimately, the ladies didn't, they had to clear up a couple things. And then one of them took a job where they were self-employed. So then they had to wait 2 years, all that good stuff. Right. But that's why that technique had sex appeal to me, because I knew what they would need to do to qualify.
So do you feel that your previous employment doing mortgages and things like that, do you think that gives you a personal advantage in this industry?
Yeah, for this reason. Countless times over the years, people come to me like, hey man, I've done some investment deals and now the banks are telling me I got to put more money down. And I wasn't prepared for that. And so I walk around knowing when I'm looking at a property or making an offer, I know what I can and can't do on the funding side. I know how much I'm going to have to put down. I know how long it might take for this type of deal to get funding. So I can write a really good contract with the right dates on it. And I know how much I'm going to have to put down, and the rug is not getting yanked out from underneath me. Quite frankly, on the banking side, that's that's where my business kind of grew, because I got to a point where I didn't take on a single client unless they went through a 22 question checklist. And anybody that hears this, I'm happy to send it to you. So I built my career on, this is a 22 question investment checklist. It's a non-negotiable. You have to read this so that you know what credit score is required after 5 deals that you have financed. How much do you have to put down on your 5th deal? Can you do commercial deal on a residential house? So all these things where the people make mistakes, I created a spreadsheet on that. That's how I kicked off the investment funding banking side of my career.
Man, that's awesome. That's totally vital. That's excellent. I love that. Wow. Good job, man. You're the insider that everybody needs. You know that? Wow. Cool. What one positive goal are you focused on in your REI business today?
On the helping people outside, just helping people see a clear path to being free, and showing them how to do multiple deals a month without needing a real estate budget. That's the number one reason people come to do a 2-day blueprint build out with us is, let me show you how we attack a city 34 ways, and 18 of those techniques are free. They don't cost anything. We just need to show you how we do it. So for me personally, it's the reason I still do this, quite frankly, is that showing an investor how to run this like a machine and do multiple contracts a month without needing a budget, and seeing them succeed and have the freedom that they deserve. That's the number one back end payoff and result from helping people.
That's incredible. Currently, what's your favorite technology you use in your business?
I would say that we have some tools built that automatically follow up with a motivated lead. So when we're going through and having these 34 different investment lead sandboxes to play in, right? Those leads need to go somewhere. So we've built, remember, I built a technology company. So we built some custom stuff that when the leads pour in, they're automatically followed up for each type of lead the right way. So for me personally, it's just the follow-up pieces and it also houses all of our websites for the different types of leads. We got like a tax delinquent person that comes in front of us that's behind on their property taxes. That's a top 2 or 3 lead source, because we track every lead source 1 to 34. It gets us, when I say it's a top 10, you should pay attention, because it's one of 3 metrics, if not all 3. It's fastest conversation to contract, highest level of motivation, or highest equity spread and payoff. So delinquent property tax homeowners are comprise all 3 of those. So it's a very, very good lead. I always tell people, go after a list of 2 years behind or more, because the bank, they probably don't have a mortgage because the bank would have already foreclosed, because I'm a banker, right?
I see, yeah.
Or because they would lose their lien position at a tax sale. So now you're going after leads that are free and clear, which means you can do almost any type of back-end strategy. So so we have behind that technology websites in place where they don't get a letter from us saying, hey, before you lose your house to tax sale, let me put cash in your pocket. They get a letter from us saying, hey, we notice you're behind in your taxes. We pull funds together to help pay those delinquent taxes for those who qualify for assistance. Reference tax assistance code TAC 424-001. They desperately want to reach out to us, but they also want to find us online. So we have a website built around tax advocacy, so they come to us the right way. They don't come to us and say, make your lowball offer, because of our technique. So the technology behind that. So the follow-up and the technology to have those websites out there so they can find us and want to speak to us is probably my biggest weapon. Yeah,
that's incredible. You got everything in place. That's great, man. What's the current portfolio look like you have these days?
Well, right now we have my wife does all of our Airbnb stuff, so she runs all of our cash flowing assets. So that's my favorite back-end strategy right now. We do fix and flips, we do wholesales, stuff like that. But on the buy and hold side, we do vacation rentals, because you can get 2 to 3 times the rent. Right now we have 51 houses under contract. So we do 60 to 70% wholesale, and then we cherry pick flips and or vacation rentals. So in my world, on the personal side of our business that we run, that's what we do.
So talking about Airbnb that you mentioned, what do you think about Airbnb arbitrage? What is your opinion on that?
I love it. It's if you perfect that approach, then think about this. Airbnb arbitrage, if you're not familiar with it, folks, is where you talk to somebody who owns a property and say, hey, can I lease the property from you? And then what you do is you release it out to people as a vacation rental, right? And so landlords want to get their monthly rent, right? So the approach on that, just to kind of teach everybody here a little bit, the approach on that is this: like, hey, what if I sign some sex appeal versus a regular renter, right? If you're going to try and approach a homeowner, because the benefit is you don't have to buy the house and furnish it to get it ready to be rented out as an Airbnb, right? You can just sign a lease agreement, put first and last month's rent, and spend 5 or 10 grand furnishing it, and for 10, 12, 15 grand, you're into a property now that may produce you on the Airbnb side with bookings for 40, 50 grand a year. Like literally 300% return on your money in 1 calendar year, right? But you have to approach, since you asked me, you have to approach the homeowner the right way. The homeowners used to sign in a lease agreement, a year lease agreement, and first and last month's rent. So some things you could do that have sex appeal, you'd be like, look, I'll sign a 3-year lease. I'll even pay $100 more a month than what you wanted to get you better cash flow. But I want to release this out. Oh, by the way, I'll handle all the phone calls. You don't have to handle a phone call about the toilet. You don't have to handle anything with the property. I'll do that, and I'll furnish it. And that's sexy. And then you tell them, look, I'll also have you ACH the payment for me every month. You'll be directly connected to my bank account. You'll never have to go wonder if the rent's coming. So those are things that are sexy to the homeowner. You say, hey, by the way, every time somebody stays, there's a $1 million liability policy on every stay provided by Airbnb. Your property's protected. You don't have to take any headache phone calls. You get automatic payments from me, and I'll sign a 3-year lease agreement at $100 above what you're looking to rent it for.
I can't even imagine a landlord saying no to that. I mean, why would they say no to that? It sounds crazy.
People coming in there having a party and kicking a hole in the wall. $1 million liability policy.
Exactly.
Anybody scuffs the wall,
I'll
fix it. And I always tell them too, you'll know real time what your property looks like too, because after each day we have professional cleaners go in there, so we know what the property looks like all the time. You rent it out to somebody for a calendar year, you don't know if they're going to put up family pictures all over the wall, and then you're going to have to fill a bunch of holes in the wall and repaint. So we know real time after each day that the property's in good working condition. Again, all those responsibilities fall on me. So that's where you have the conversation, and there's some sex appeal in there, and you can get into a property really cheap and reap the benefits if you do Airbnb arbitrage. So hopefully that helps answer that question for you.
Yeah, that was perfect. So Jason, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they go about doing that?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can go to the number 2dayblueprint.com, 2dayblueprint.com, or you can just shoot me a text message, 314-749-3737. Or you can just find me on Facebook, Jason Palliser, and shoot me a friend request or a message or whatever. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to talk to you. Like we can help you attack any city you want and bypass. Most investors do the same 5 things. When you have 34, it's literally, not figuratively, literally not a fair fight. Like we get in front of so many off-market opportunities. People can't stop us. Doing things without a budget, just doing it better than everyone else. Like as an example, as a tip for everybody that hears this, one of the things that we do out of 34 to grab good deals is we go to Google, type in junk removal St. Louis, junk removal Tampa, junk removal Phoenix, and we compile all the phone numbers for 15, 20 junk removal companies, and then we call them and create a ongoing relationship co-op with them. So all we do is, remember, costs you nothing to do this. We call them all and say, hey, look, you give lots of bids on property to remove junk. You don't win every bid. I'd like to create an ongoing relationship with you. I'm Jason with Allied Property Group. If you would like to work with us, what we'd like to do is every single time say, hey, I have a friend that would literally pay cash for this house and you don't have to lift a finger if you're interested. Every time you send us a homeowner and we buy the house, I'll give you $2,000. You don't win every bid, but I guarantee that if we buy the house, you get $2,000. Secondly, if we end up buying the house, I guarantee you get the bid. I'll put it in writing. I want an ongoing relationship with you. And think about this, folks. When do you want to talk to a homeowner? probably the time that they're looking to remove junk, because people don't remove junk just for fun. They remove junk when something's going to happen. That is a motivated lead at the exact moment you want to talk to them. So we show you how to do things differently. And I'm willing to bet if you've been online and done research and trying to find ways to get investment deals and get good leads in front of you, that you've never heard that before. And think about this. A lead is now coming to you where they said it's okay for you to call them. They expect your call. And it's not, hey, let's go to list and send a bunch of text messages and have people say, make your low offer or I'm not selling. We don't live in that world. There's a better way to approach this. That's just one way. And just one relationship from one junk removal company could get you easily 5 to 10 deals a year coming to you that cost you nothing up front. Just as an example, like not a fair fight. We teach negotiations on the back end. I always joke and say it's irresponsible for us to show you how to suffocate a city 34 ways and then not teach you what we call a seller waltz on a 4-minute conversation that flips a difference in price into a contract. So we'll show you 14 different ways we do that.
Man, you got all the tools, man. You got the tools, you got the weapons. I love it. I love it all. Love it all. Since entering into the real estate investing world, what do you feel you're most grateful for?
Oh, without a doubt, the collaboration between investors. Speaking for right at 20 years, I guess, in some fashion or form, 23 years, really. The relationships that I created with other people where we collaborate and do deals together. Like, it was fun for me. I just did a blueprint for a client last month. They're brand new. And I said, look, when you attack 34 ways, you're going to get in front of deals that, one, you didn't know existed, two, that in the moment, there's no way you can close it. So the cool thing about us teaching people to be what we call blueprint assassins is that you'll get in front of good deals that we know if it's your first go around that you're not going to know how to do. So as an example, it's the collaboration. And one example is we trained a guy named Chad last month. He's brand new. He uncovered a mobile home park, a motivated mobile home park owner. Said, I'm willing to own or finance it. So nobody even needs to get a bank loan, which is great, right? Yeah. But he doesn't have the down payment, doesn't know what questions to ask. So I literally put him in touch with my friend Jonathan. And Jonathan's a national authority on mobile home parks and has taught for almost every entity in the country on it. I put them together. They're working that deal together. So the most beneficial thing and rewarding thing for me is the collaboration between investors and other people's expertise. Man, love that. Incredible. So before I hit you with the last question, I just want to say thank you very much for being on the show. I mean, come on, man. You can't give much more value than what you've given. It was incredible. So I loved every moment of it. Sweet. Awesome. So finally, Jason, what is your definition of real estate investing success? Sustainable, predictable. So success in this sandbox to me is waking up knowing that what you're doing will produce investment opportunities for you to keep, fix and flip, wholesale, whatever you want to do. But do it with predictability and that it's a sustainable machine. Because I talk to people all the time that schedule calls directly to my calendar off the 2-day blueprint website. And they're like, man, just please get me out of my marketing budget, please. And can you show me how to do this like a predictable business and machine, which is when you get hired to average 40 or 50 homes a month for these bigger entities, we can't miss a single deal. So over the years, out of necessity, we've drilled down to what it looks like to wake up and know with predictability that you're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8 contracts every single month, right? So success to me is having a spinning machine that is sustainable and gives you predictable results because you know what you're doing with the highest level of clarity.
Successors, I hope you've enjoyed my quick conversation today, and I hope you've gained just a little more insight into achieving your financial freedom and reaching your goals. For more real estate investing content like this and a lot more, please visit UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com. That's UnitedStatesRealEstateInvestor.com. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay grateful, stay successful, and be free. Music by Stream Beats.